Hi, my name's Asia and I'm with Rebirth into Wellness. Today I'm going to do a reading for the heart and the 4 chambers of the heart. So anyone that is looking to work on issues surrounding the heart or have any traumas residing in the heart space, we'll do some collective reading and healing on that. So the deck that I am choosing today for this reading is called Healing Heart Oracle, Love Letters to Your Soul by Ina Siegel. And I'm going to choose 4 cards representing the 4 chambers of the heart. So this is a general reading. So if something doesn't resonate, feel free to leave it. I'm sure there is something that will pop up for everyone though, as we all tend to have traumas being stored around the heart and heart walls. Okay, so the first card that comes up is Passionate Heart. Use your voice to wake up others. Most of us don't use our creative abilities to the extent of which we can in the daily basis or even at all. Some of us don't actually feel connected to our creativity, and our passion and our creativity are often connected, and anything that has happened in the past, any types of wounds around the heart, can sort of make us disconnect from that side of ourselves. But I think most of us at some point share our stories, share our wounds with people, and often in that sharing, we then gain the feeling of being heard or being seen, and turning that wound into a medicine or connecting with people in that way around those things. Often when we have wounds around the heart, we will feel lonely, and we will have tendencies to shut people out or cut people off very easily, put up walls around us to help protect us. But what these walls do is they don't actually protect us, they keep things from coming in and they keep everything from going out. So the simple act of giving and receiving love. This can show up in many different ways in our lives, but essentially, feeling like we aren't well received by others, or we don't feel like people are giving back to us. These are specific wounds around the heart and are related to heart walls or armor that we put around ourselves to protect us so that we don't get hurt again. Often heart wounds originate in any kind of inner child wound related to the giving and receiving of love from either the mother or the father. So these wounds do often relate to the inner child and the unhealed child aspects of ourselves. The second card that comes up is the Giving Heart. Develop self-love. Now, it kind of ties perfectly in with the whole thing around heart walls, because a part of the giving and receiving love is if we've never been given a healthy expression of love or received a healthy expression of love, we wouldn't understand how to really do that for ourselves. These things are usually taught by our parents. Our parents are the first people to unconditionally love us, or hopefully supposed to unconditionally love us, and give and receive love freely between the two, the feminine and the masculine. So if we didn't have healthy experiences in our upbringing, our childhood, um, you know, even if they were healthy, but maybe there's some wounds that are being carried from your child self, from the parents. These things can happen subconsciously and unconsciously, be stored there and creating this experience. So even though you may not remember a specific incident, or maybe off the top of your head you can't think of, a negative in the relationship with either of your parents, it's because usually these wounds happen at very early age years, anywhere in between the time that you were created in the womb to around age 6 are kind of the times where you're mostly developing, and a lot of subconscious habits are formed, subconscious structures and programs. So these wounds, you might not remember them because that was so long ago, and they might have been very minor in the grand scheme of life. And I can give you some examples. Anytime, let's say, that a child gets hurt, in sort of the walking or crawling stages. I personally had a wound where my head was cracked open when I was about 2 years old, and I have a scar here. I had to get 5 stitches. I don't necessarily remember that happening, but from doing healing work around the inner child and these different wounds, I discovered a story there that I was subconsciously carrying. And even though I know that this isn't the true full case, the story was that my parents aren't there for me when I need them. And what happened is I simply tripped and fell at a park and hit my head on a metal slide. And it happened when my mom was turned around. Now, I didn't realize the depth of that wound until I started doing shamanic work around the heart and my head. I knew about this head trauma, but I didn't necessarily have any memories of it. I kind of remember sort of an image, but not as if it was a normal memory. And never once did I ever think this consciously in my mind about my mom. Did I realize the connection there? It took me a lot of healing before I realized that that was something that was buried very deep. And I ended up having to do some soul retrieval and power retrieval work around that. Now, that did manifest as a story. Now, in this case, I am female. My mom was obviously a female, and this created sort of a wound around the feminine. The feminine wasn't there for me. So even if we take it outside of the mother direct relationship, it was a larger feminine wound, and this wound then created issues around the feminine, trusting in my own capabilities in the feminine energies. This is just an example, an idea for some people so that you can understand how some of these things impact us and we may not realize it. And those are the kind of subconscious things that are buried within that we may not fully know or haven't been dug up yet. The next card is the betrayed heart. Risk opening up to life and love. Now, the betrayal wound is also an inner child wound, usually from the parent of the opposite sex, but it can be same sex as well. This is typically where we might experience betrayal first, and then eventually we basically repeat it karmically in other relationships, whether that be love relationships or friendships, work relationships. It doesn't really matter. The theme all around is typically relationships. Once we begin to start doing this work around the heart, we begin to free up all of these experiences. And the first thing to do is really to focus on yourself. And although these traumas and events might seem like they've happened to you or have happened in your past, they have created everything up to this moment. And this is a part of our journey of healing these heart wounds so that we can become our divine self and live from a place of co-creation with the universe in a healthy way so that we can manifest our true desires and our true heart's will and our true purpose. The next card is the hurt heart, and I see you. You know, how many times have we been hurt? You know, what is the true root sources of this hurt or all of these different forms of hurt and suffering? That's really the goal with these heart readings and healings, is to start raising some awareness around the different types of traumas that reside, that create the different experiences in our life, in our love, in our self-love, and our relationships with others. Our heart is our truth center, and so if we have a bunch of walls around our heart and armor and all of these events that create this distrust, then we can't fully trust our heart and we can't truly fully trust ourselves and our own divine guidance. So we'll never fully be living in our truth or our true selves. And this is an extremely important aspect towards healing and finding your true purpose. So when people are looking for your true purpose, you know, there isn't just one aspect of things that need to be healed. It's many different aspects around the feminine, the masculine, you know, the two-spirited community, and, you know, the heart. And once we start to balance these aspects, then and only then can we move forward, onward and upward. Now, once we start working through the heart, we begin to have experiences that open up to new possibilities, new opportunities, and we'll start to experience relationships differently. We will start to experience love differently. We will feel love more fully. We'll love ourselves more fully. We will give love more freely and understand that when we give, we also are giving to ourselves, not just others. And what you give out comes back. And the more you begin to do this, the more it begins to snowball effect, and the more you become at peace. There's different layers that come out at different times on the journey, but this is a good first sort of reading and introduction to the heart readings and healings. So now we'll go into the healing part. So I'll get you to close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And now you're going to imagine a giant white and gold staircase. And we're going to call on all Ascension teams of all corners and all directions of Earth, the sun and the moon and the stars. and all ancestors of earth and sky that are enlightened with love and healing. We're going to call on the 15 archangels and their twin flames. And then we're going to call on the sacred rays of light and the alchemy of light and the dragons of light to help bring up all three hearts up to the 55th dimension, walking up these steps, raising our vibration higher and higher, letting go of what no longer serves us, opening the giant golden door and walking through and bringing up all of our wounds, armor, and walls around all three hearts up to the source of all that is, and clearing and cleansing with the elements of the diamond light and the source light, cleansing and purifying the fire, clearing any fears in all four chambers of all three hearts. Cleansing and purifying, reclaiming any fragments lost, given away, taken, or dismembered by ourselves or others. Cleansing with the water of diamond light any emotional debris and armor. Cleansing the epigenetics of any heart walls, armor, or wounds from the feminine, of our mothers, or from the masculine, and our fathers. Repairing all wounds with the diamond light, the five elements: earth, wind, fire, water, and ether. Cleansing and purifying the auric layers and fields around the heart. With the five elements of diamond light, repairing the auric layers and fields. And upgrading and replacing all old structures with new source light codes. In all four corners of all three hearts, the feminine and masculine aspects of ourselves, and any earth light codes. Coming into unity, oneness, becoming whole. Taking a few deep breaths. Allow this to integrate fully. Bringing this new awareness and anchoring it fully into body, mind, and soul. All three hearts. Heading back towards the door and leaving a gift at the altar. And as you give a gift, you will also receive a gift. Coming back down the steps. Coming back fully into your body. Grounding all of this new awareness. Fully integrated. Giving thanks to all of the helpers, all Ascension teams and guides and ancestors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just giving thanks. Feel free to type in the comments anything that you felt or experienced, any feelings or emotions that might have come up. Did you get any awareness? Is there different age ranges that came up? Would love to see what people experience. And thank you for watching. And thank you for raising the vibration of the collective. Feel free to like and share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.